I think we can do that no problem, actually. We can do that right now. Deconstruct liquid pipe. Yeah. And... yeah, we'll get rid of this one here as well. And then we'll rebuild that bridge there. And then this will be able to bridge over to there. That'll be fine. So bang, bang, and then bang. Cool. Much planning ahead. Got to plan a bit ahead when we've got 4 pipes wide. Got to think a little bit ahead. So you can go there, and then you will just trundle straight into there. There we go. And then we'll need to figure out our power, which is going to go just nicely up there. You can go to there. We'll need a little bridge over here. And then we'll run this wire over to like there. Bang in a transformer like so. And oh wait, the transformer was yeah, the battery's closest this way, isn't it? Bang. And then we'll do how many tiles are between them actually? What? Why did I do that? Really close together. Blep. So it's 480, 480, bang, and we'll have some pumps in here as well that are probably going to go here and here. That's fine. And yeah, let's just cancel this. Build another one here first, and then cancel you. And then we'll just put a little bit of automation between these. Have some food poisoning. Interesting. And then, yeah, we'll need to get some gas pipes out for the natural gas. Natural gas we can probably just run through here and bridge into there, which will be fine. So... yeah, something like that. I just want to lay out all this stuff so we can then just let them build it, and I can have a little chill with you guys and just let them get on it. So you're going to go through there. Perfect. The other thing I'm going to want, as I say, is lighting, which I've not really thought about either. What sort of lighting do we want? Steel lights. Oh shit, the sensors aren't going to reach. How far do the sensors reach? Oh! Will they still reach the dupe? They should do. They should still reach. Alright, we'll get to that in a sec. Gino, how are you, buddy? How's it going? Right then, whilst that's going on, let me just scroll out and see what's going on in space. We're nearly done up here. We are nearly done with the space. We've nearly dug out all of space, and that matters. That's huge. There's a little bit left to do around here. There's lots of water to mop up as well. If we give these a couple of places to hop up, we can actually get rid of all this crap as well. This is where the heat's going to be. But that's okay. Oop. And here. Excellent. Getting that. It's only taking 5 hours. Like, well, we're doing other things as well, aren't we? I'm struggling a little bit for power, don't forget. We're still struggling for coal. Coal sucks. I'm getting a little bit of natural gas though, but still not enough to think about running natural gas gens yet. But we're getting there. We're limping by with this one, don't forget. No natural gas, guys, is blows. Really blows. In a major way. Now then, I don't want you boys to even think about running just yet, so we'll disable you. Don't even think about it. natural gas in this curry. What curry did you get in the end? If you saw my current pipe and you banned me from the stream, there's nothing wrong with spaghetti, Asnris. Nothing wrong with that at all. Last day of the week, so it's all good. Nice. Dupes are too tall. Yeah, it should be alright with the sensors up here then, shouldn't it? We should just get them. We'll get the heads. Is natural gas the best power, and why? In a quick explanation, please. Natural gas is a very good end power source, because if you make it out of petroleum, you can get a hell of a lot of energy, and you can do an awful lot along the way to get your natural gas. So, let's say you wanted to go from crude oil to natural gas, right? You go from crude oil to petroleum. Well, you want your petroleum to be hot. You're going to have to boil petroleum if you're doing it with a boiler, right? This, with refineries, is not efficient. But if you do it with petroleum boiler, it really works. So you'd want your oil to be 400 degrees, or close to it. So you can heat up your oil, you can use it for loads of shit, you can use it for refineries, you can use it for cooling volcanoes, you can do what you want with it, until it's like 350 degrees or something. Then move it out of there and boil it into petroleum. 400 degrees, it turns into petroleum at a 1-to-1 ratio, right? That's the beauty of boiling it over using refineries. Refineries, you lose half of it, but you gain a bit of natural gas. Petroleum boilers, you just get petroleum. You then take that petroleum, you cook it with an aqua tuner, or volcano, or whatever you've got, and make natural gas, right? Well, technically you make sour gas. Now, when you make sour gas, you lose 30% of the mass of the petroleum, or a third rather, it's 33.3 recurring, when you solidify or condense sour gas into liquid methane. So you lose a third of your sour gas, right? But you then end up with liquid methane that's super cool as well, because you have to cool the sour gas to minus 165-ish, 167, something like that, to make liquid methane. You then have cold liquid methane that you can then use to warm, or you have to warm up to make natural gas. So you can cool something else with your liquid methane. That's why we've been doing builds with like counter cooling and stuff. So if I do a little save, I'll show you this little build I've been tinkering with again. I did show it earlier, but this should explain it a bit more. I'm due a save and load anyway. We've gone for another like 2 hours since the last load. Let's just get to the main menu. So natural gas boilers, very, very good. Give you a massive amount of power. So let's say you do a natural gas boiler, sour gas boiler, that gives you 1 kilo per second. That's enough to power 11 natural gas gens. 11 natural gas gens gives you a lot of power, but also gives you a lot of water and a lot of carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide you can then turn into oil. The polluted water you can then use for other things. It's a very good loop. It gives you a lot of excess materials. If you just took the petroleum and banged it in a petroleum generator, you'd still get a lot of water, you'd still get a lot of carbon dioxide, you wouldn't get anywhere near as much power. Nowhere near. Not even close. Before the nerf, when they brought in sour gas, before the nerf to natural gas, it was somewhere in the region of 20 times better to boil oil into natural gas than use it in petroleum gens. Now it's less, because you lose a third of the mass. But does that make sense? That's the quickest explanation I can possibly do. You can turn CO2 into oil, yeah, with slicksters. Yeah. How could you turn CO2 into oil? With slicksters. You can also turn CO2 straight into petroleum if you want to use molten slicksters. That is also an option as well. So yeah, that's a brief rundown on the power loop. The thing that you have to remember is when you're comparing like for like, if you just look at the buildings, it doesn't quite tally up. You need to look at what you can do with all the other outputs that you get from the different processes. So, with slicksters, yeah. If you feed slicksters CO2, they poop crude oil. That's what they do. And if it's a molten slickster, it's petroleum instead of oil. But you need to heat up the room for molten slicksters. This is taking a while. We are laggy boys. But yeah, does that make sense? We're only loading a debug game. I'll just quickly load this, show you what I'm talking about, and then we will do a quick reload of the game. Looks like an animal in the game. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, if you didn't know that, they're a little purple creature at the bottom of your map, normally in your oil biome. So here's an example of a basic petroleum boiler. So here we've got oil coming in at 150 odd degrees, assuming this has gone through like a refinery or something. The oil gets dripped into a build where we're running 2 aqua tuners. The aqua tuners are heating up the oil into petroleum. So once this petroleum or once this oil gets to 400 degrees, we can actually watch it change. It'll change here to yellow. Alright. So we can speed this up. So I'm in debug at the minute, guys, for those of you that are wondering. These are going to run a little bit. Oh. Ran out of power there. Don't know why that was. Eventually this petroleum will heat up, as I say, and turn it into... oh, it's because we're pumping in more oil at the minute, that's why. The build's currently cooling off. Okay. Why am I running out of power? Stop that. There we go. Alright, so yeah, 393, 394. So what's basically going to happen is once this crude oil changes, it'll become petroleum. It'll toggle the sensor up here once it's warm enough, and then we'll dump some of this petroleum out. So there we go, it's now changed. The petroleum gets dumped over here, and then we're pumping out 400 degree petroleum. Alright, the 400 degree petroleum then gets pumped up here, where I've got another little tank, and this goes to my sour gas boiler. So what we have here is a little build where I'm pumping in petroleum through this vent when we need it. It comes in at 400 degrees, and then another aqua tuner is basically just cycling some coolant, some super coolant, through a little band of pipe here and making us liquid methane. So it boils into sour gas. Sour gas, when you cool it below 161.5, it's closer to 162 point something, will become liquid methane, which is what this is down here. But liquid methane then needs to be evaporated at minus 161.5 into natural gas. Does that make sense? So if we run this for a little bit, you'll see the sour gas sort of fluctuates a little bit. We'll get little pockets coming out. It boils off, it cools, it boils off, it cools. And it'll go through stages depending on what these aqua tuners are doing at the bottom. But the beauty of that then is that we get liquid methane coming up this pipe that can go into this build and boil off. And this build's not really optimised yet. I've not really tinkered with this all that much. It's not balanced, as you can tell, because my super coolant from the bottom comes up and goes in a loop over here. This side is way cooler than this side. But yeah, you'll see we get methane on both sides. So if I just run this slowly, you can see the liquid methane dropping from the sour gas. That then pools up at the bottom, and these mini pumps just collect it and give us much methane. Alright, the liquid methane hits these tiles, boils off because these tiles are in connectivity with the sour gas outside, and then these pumps just pump it out. And that's how you get natural gas. Now the byproduct I was talking about is sulfur. This shit is sulfur. Currently has very few uses in the game. It's pretty lame. Can't really do that much with it. What you can do with it though is put it on conveyor belts and send it around your build. The problem is it boils off at 115 degrees, but you can use this to give you some additional cooling, and I've done that with quite a few of my builds. Nimble Pimp and Kisukin, thank you very much for the follow, guys. So we're just doing a bit of a quick debug rant. So this is how you would get natural gas. Now imagine how much this is outputting in a minute. It's probably about I reckon about 1.8 kilos on average per cycle, per second, on average over a sort of 5-10 cycle period. You can see how much we're getting. These are 1 kilo packets that we're getting up here, and that's just giving me lots and lots of methane. So imagine how much we could run off that. We could probably run 20, 18 natural gas gens. So just to put that into perspective, one natural gas gen, where are we looking? Natural gas gen. Let's see here. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. There's 12. Alright. Now each one of these is going to give us, and this is where it gets silly, each one of these is going to take 90 grams of combustible gas. It's going to give us 67.5 grams of polluted water, 22.5 grams of carbon dioxide, and 800 watts of power. So if we've got 20 of them, we're looking at 16 kilowatts of power straight away. That's without counting all the outputs and stuff. It's an incredible thing, but it takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of fiddling and tweaking and refining. This is an old build of mine. You can find this build on YouTube. I've done many sour gas builds, but they've changed the turbines recently. So this is my take on it without using a turbine. I've sort of incorporated a petroleum boiler and a natural gas boiler into one. So it gives me excess petroleum. I've got loads of petroleum stored in here that I can still use for petroleum gens if I want, or for rockets. But then I've also got my natural gas being made, and that is the plan. So I hope that makes sense. I'll probably do a video on this in the next few days, but I don't really want to do a video until I'm happy with the build, and I'm not quite happy with it yet. So in fact, let's quit to desktop. Once I'm happy with that build, I will let you know by posting a video on it. So if you keep an eye on my Twitter or on the Discord, you will see when that goes live. So there you go. Thank you so much for in-game power. There you go, mate. And Dismelly Walrus, thank you very much for the follow. What a name. What a name. And Dismelly Walrus. All I know is I've never been able to keep up with a few ranch room slickers. They just end up dying off. Yeah, depends. They might produce probably better. Had some CO2 in the biomes to avoid regular slicksters. Yeah, you need a lot of slicksters if you're gonna try and farm them for oil. But oil wells are easier than ever to use. I mean, you basically just feed them water. As long as you've got plenty of water on your map, you're laughing. Now that we definitely get saltwater geysers on our map, we've always at least got 2 sources of water, minimum. So you've got at least 1 cool steam vent, and then you've got a saltwater geyser guaranteed. Saltwater geyser, 95-degree water, put it through a desalinator, gives you salt. And also clean water. Put that clean water into some oil wells, you've got a massive supply of oil. So there you go. There you go. There's a bit of a late game rundown. That's only on Arboria, not on all maps. I think you are meant to get saltwater guys on most maps now, Leppy. That's one of the things they put in the patch notes. You can get unlucky with POIs. You don't have any. You might have got unlucky with POIs, though, as I say. Also, it depends when you started your save. Anyway. Bang, 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 bang. Let's get the base going. And let me just make sure I've not still got any debuggy stuff on. I don't think I have. No. Cool. So, we'll just start them on a speed 1 to begin with. Let them get into stuff, and then we'll ramp it up and let them get these pipes and stuff built. We'll try and finish this build quickly. Get some excess petroleum. And I want to get a few things built in space before we finish today. That is the plan. Some of the world traits that replace parts of the map can overwrite guys. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, their POI is still perpetual. So even the traits like the boulders and stuff, they're POIs. We can spawn them in and debug them in the POI menu. They spawn in with the same rules. That's the problem. They can even overwrite like vacilators. They can overwrite AETNs and stuff. They share the same rules from what I've seen. So, Exy, how are you, buddy? How's it going? How the devil goes it? Yeah, it's why they're breaking things. It sucks. I think it's basically they threw them in at a last minute sort of thing, or didn't know how to put them in properly maybe. But it might change in the future, who knows. Like, they have made changes to how biome spawning rules and stuff, you know, with abyssalite and stuff. I mean, for those of you that played from the early days, if you remember, we used to get like 8-tile thick borders of abyssalite around like biomes and stuff, you know. If you wanted to dig into an ice biome, you knew about it. We used to use them to navigate the map to avoid slime lung when slime lung was dangerous. For the brief period that slime lung was dangerous. But not anymore. I need to put some more ladders in here so that we can hop across. Just so we can get in here a bit easier. Oh, that'll do. Right. So still tidying up a bit, digging in space. That is fine. We'll just bang them on. This should have power down here now. As in it's connected, so that's fine. So we can now put a little mesh tile in here. I could probably do with this running to try and push out this. I might leave this a mesh tile to push out the carbon dioxide. Otherwise we're going to get stuck with a bubble of carbon dioxide down here. Which will be a bit annoying. Okay. Hard time getting into mid-late game with a decent water supply. I'm usually using more than a geyser gives me. Well, that sucks. I mean, to be honest, I'm fine for polluted water, but I'm finding myself short on other sources now. Like my, unfortunately, my slush geyser water has run out, and I'm definitely not going to have enough before 28 cycles. So we're going to piss through this in no time. I'm probably going to need to do some more water cooling myself soon. Fortunately, though, I do already have the infrastructure for it. I've already got a water cooler over here. I'm just not using it at the minute. But You can stall for a long time in this game. You can stall for a long time using the materials that are in the world. You know, ice can stall your water pool for a long time. We're currently in the process of melting some ice over here. You know, it's going to take a while, but when this melts, we're going to have 275 tons. That's 275 tiles of icy cold, perfect water. You know, things like that can really help you last a bit longer. Could you please bring up the decor layer? I see you have heavy watt wire all over the place. I have heavy watt wire outside the base. I don't have heavy watt wire in the base. We don't do heavy watt wire in the base. No sir. But outside, yeah, fuck it. It's fine. Don't worry, my stress is at like 7%. And that's one person. Everybody else is at 0%, so... You can put heavy watt wire in like little... We used to do them in what I called... utility... What did I call them? Cavity walls. But we don't do that anymore. We just don't bother anymore. Royal, thank you very much for the follow. Thank you, thank you. And again, any questions you've got, mate, ask. Go for it. If you feed plants food poisoned water, does the food they produce contain food poisoning? I don't believe so. I've never sat down and actually watched for long enough. I don't believe so. Can you bring up deco of your base again? Of course. Blistering cold, thank you very much for the follow. And what an incredible year, might I say. Incredible year. One of the best. Hello, fades into darkness. Courier, how you doing? Anarchy, how are you? What's up, Leffy? What are we looking at? First time your base is not a dangus. No! I tried my best not to make it a dangus this time. I'm debating whether I can make a boiler over here in the same shape as this for Lumbo. Oh, was it Lumbo? Who was it that asked for the same shape build? Can you give us a high-level tour of your map? It's so overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff going on, Sushi. Is there anything in particular you'd like me to look at, or anything you'd like me to explain? Because there's quite a lot going on at the minute, it's the only thing. It's a big old base. Big old boy. Still early access. Oh, I've still not changed it on my thing. The reason I've left the early access tag is because I regularly play early access games, not just Oni. We used to play like other games that were offered to me and stuff. I've just not for a while. Oh, this is going to be a nightmare now. It's all going to boil off. I should have cleaned up that water before I dropped the last stuff down. Oh well. Alright, I'm just going to throw a ladder in there so we can reach all this stuff. And I'm going to dig out all this. Boop. And we'll get rid of all these ladders up here. And then that is that then. I don't need to do any more fanning about up here, I don't think. Get out of here. We'll also get this done with an 8 as well. I want to keep quite a few dupes up here, just finishing this stuff off. That's you. Oh, it's you, Sorted. Yeah, but we can maybe have a look. We'll maybe see if I can figure one out to fit in that space. It's a little bit of a compact space, but I can figure something out, I'm sure. This save was started before launch. What's that in relation to? Did you do anything with the volcano on this map? I always struggle with the heat it provides and using any refined metal. Speed's incredibly hot for building with. I've got 2 volcanoes capped. I've got a copper volcano that's giving me hot copper that powers this little turbine. Not fully, but it gives us a bit of free power, 260 watts. And that's just basically, you know, cycling its water through. And I've also got a gold volcano over here that's just giving me gold out of here at like 11 degrees. I think this might be dormant. Oh no, it's erupting shortly. So they're the only 2 that I've done so far. Would it be too much to ask you to attach the save file to the YouTube clip from time to time? I'm quite seasoned in Oni, but I still have things to learn. Nedix, I normally don't upload the save file until the last video in the playthrough. And the reason for that is in the past, I've had people take my save file that I've shared on Discord and post videos of my base as their content. And that's why I don't do it anymore. I don't do it until we're finished with the playthrough. It might seem a little bit elitist. I don't want people stealing my shit. But generally, the last video in the playthrough, you'll find the save file, so you can have a nosy. I normally post it on Discord as well. So, Why not sell base maps of people's bases and make wallpaper? That'd be cool. That's fine, looking forward to it. No problem at all, buddy. Yeah, it'll be up there, mate. That's some bullshit, yeah. Name and shame them. No, I won't. I shan't. I shan't, and I won't. It is fine. Anywho. Let's carry on. I can't. I won't. I shan't. So this is all but done now, pretty much. Just need to get these last bits of piping in, which... God, we're still laggy on the overlays. Christ. Get these last bits of piping in, and then I can repurpose this for now. Are you dormant at the minute? You're still dormant. You're not active 27 cycles. That's perfect. So I can use this... I can use these tiles here. So let's start getting this dropped down. Yeah, fuck it. We'll just delete all these. So let's get rid of you. Boop. And then we'll get our petroleum in here as well. B. What the hell? I'm building these with ceramic? No! Igneous. I'm assuming, what were these made out of? Igneous, yeah, we'll do that. Bottom to sedimentary, igneous. So these are going to be for dropping in my petroleum, and we'll do the same thing as before. We'll drop in a little bit, and then we'll run some hot petroleum through here, and that will make our solid tiles, and then we'll get some trees planted in here. It'll be lovely. How do you cool down the gold from the volcano so much? I have an aqua tuner that is cooling down some liquid, so you can see now the gold is erupting. So what I basically have here is an aqua tuner that's running some ethanol through some piping, and it's cooling down my steam turbines up top, but it's also cooling down a little pool of oil. Alright, this oil is nice and cool at the bottom, so my gold falls in and starts cooling. Excuse me. So literally the gold just drips off, and it solidifies when it hits the oil. It does warm up my oil a little bit, but this is an old build that I've had running for a while now. I should realistically change this to a different liquid, but meh. So once this is finished, this sensor will toggle on once a day, which is my sweeper, so it gives it time for the gold to cool down a bit, and that heat is just absorbed into the oil and then cooled. We just get rid of it. I say we get rid of it, the heat is used in the turbine. So when the aqua tuner's running, the turbine generally fires up and gives me a little bit of power. If that makes sense. Rabbit, how are you, buddy? Oh, how'd you get the gold out? The gold comes out with this little sweeper. So the sweeper loads it into this loader, and then just boop, drops it on the floor out here. I've also got a little bit of piping that comes out here, which was cooling down these transformers and batteries, and it just keeps the area nice and cold. So I get some, you know, 11-degree gold. So there you go. If we change this, there you go. So that'll toggle on now. Boop. And then the sweeper just pulls out the gold. It might not dump it all in one cycle, but it'll try to. I think it should have, yeah, so it's dumped half the gold this cycle. The reason for that is basically I want to make sure it stays in this oil a bit. So that's why I've only set it to like 3%, which should work for my output of my volcano. It means that some of the gold stays in here, so even if they do pump out some hot stuff, when the rest gets dumped out, it'll be nice and cool and balance it out. Petroleum's still the best liquid to do the loop with pre-space materials. Yeah, basically. Yeah. I'm conscious of this ice water now. Right then, once this is finished, I say we'll go off and do something silly for the old hamster, which is fine. These all need to be petroleum. I don't really want to do them with auto balls. I want to do them sweeps. And we'll just copy all of these. And I just need to find some petroleum. So we've got many bottles down here, just little odds and sods. This is like 50 kilos. You know, I might as well get these collected and dropped into the base rather than bringing down a full bottle. So we'll get all these used. But I don't really want to sweep up all this other crap as well, you see what I mean? Boop. They'll come down here and do multiple grabs anyway. They'll probably grab, you know, mix some of these bottles together, so we'll just bring all this up. That'll probably do us. So we're a little bit left. Yeah, fuck it, we'll just get it all. Boop. Boop. Perfect. Is this like priority 5 or something? I knew it was going to be. It's because we loaded the game and it resets our priorities to 5. Thanks for taking the time to explain. Going to try that next time. Yeah, no problem, Shoppy. No problem, mate. It's still a bit laggy, or has it gotten better? It's pretty laggy. We're running on speed 2 just to sort of keep us going. But yeah, it's a wee bit laggy. Not the best. But we'd be fine. We get there. I've just realised something a little bit troubling. In that I'm going to have to move this pipe regardless. Because I won't be able to rebuild it afterwards in the tiles. Because these are going to be... I'm going to make these into dirt tiles, you see. So once I've ripped out the radiant pipe, which I'm going to have to do, because otherwise I'm going to have 90-degree hot water radiating out, I won't be able to rebuild the pipe. Which is fine, but I'm probably going to have to get this pipe ready now. So, shit. Bit of a faff, but doesn't need to be done all that urgently. Can just change to like there or something. That'll be fine. And then I'll need some radiant pipe in. We'll use aluminum again because it's so quick. Jesus. Gonna have to knock out a few different builds to get this to work. Why is that not building? That was weird. Volumez, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome. Right, so we'll get these tiles built. Don't know how I'm going to dodge this for now. I need to get rid of you. Get rid of you. We'll tidy all this up afterwards, but for now, just have to do this. How much copper is there now? Oh, in this volcano. Currently 8.6 tons, so enough to keep this plenty of heat for a good while. You can see the heat goes up a little bit and then it'll calm down in a minute. The window tiles here are, you know, 600 odd degrees, but it'll drop pretty quickly. Right, let me just make sure this is done. Oh, that feels so nice. Feels so nice to be all cleaned out. Very good. Right. Not going to do anything else up there just yet. Let's finish off these builds. I'm aware that I owe Hamster and debt. Right, let's turn you off. Let's turn all these off. All these ones that have got a bit of fuel in there. Bang. And then we'll get you swept. You can probably do a few of these. It's freaking awesome. Nice. I'm glad you like it, mate. I'm glad you approve. Right, which one are you going to? Where are you going? You crazy fool, green. So I don't want to use all this petroleum, so that'll do. And we only need a few blobs in here, really. It doesn't need loads. Right. So you're going to go there. Volcanoes, guys, are just infinite source of resources. If not, what's the end game source of materials? Geysers and space, basically. Geysers and space. That's where it's at. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just going to use as many of these bottles as I can to get all my petroleum dropped in. Please don't drop in the same one. Where are you going? Where are you off to? Oh. Don't take it up there. No, no, no. How much is there? Holy shit. Yeah, take it up there. No, don't actually. Drop that here. Meh. Hold on a sec. They're like 5. Why would they ever take it up there? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, maybe there's another dupe coming from like the bottom of the map that's bringing him onto here. Maybe that's what it is. Well, anyway, that's fine. There we go. So that's all of you done. I know it's a lot of faffing about this, guys, but this is genuinely probably the quickest way for me to do this, honestly. Now I just need to get all those tiles done. Got all this crap ripped out as well. Cool. And then, let's see. I think what I'll do, I'll build a little tank here. I'll build a little tank up here. That'll do. Because I've got access to some cold water here that I can pass straight through. That'd be nice. Yeah, Mr. Only in my opinion, who's sent on here, can't comprehend some of the shit you're doing here and how you manage it all. Ah, Shane, that's very kind. That's very kind. You see, I consider myself more of a bumbling fuck. But it's very kind you say that, mate. That's lovely to hear. I wish I was back into the game more, to be honest. I'm still a wee bit rusty. But soon, soon. Soon we'll be flying again. No problem. Right. So we'll take these bridges and I'm going to drop a bit of water down here, but we'll do a bit of that and get rid of you. Then we can run this pipe. We'll nip off here. Yeah, we'll nip off there, run up here into there, and we'll need to give him a little outie as well. Just a little outie. And then we'll need to nip off like here or something. Maybe there would be good. Alright then, so now that we can see what's going on in here, let's just get our ceiling lights in. So we're going to want a ceiling light over both of these boys. I'm thinking over there and there. Might be nice. And then we will need a spot of automation just for these fellas, which I'm thinking will be... do steel as well. Steel boys now. There and there. Now, didn't I find there was a weird behaviour with the old dupe sensor? Which tile was it that it triggered them from? I can't remember. We had some weird behaviour in the other room, but I think it's the automation tile. As long as we can reach the automation tile, we should be fine. Same with the lighting. So that's okay. You can go through there. And then again, we're going to need ventilation in here as well. So when the game wakes up, we'll probably get away with doing these with gold amalgam. We'll have like one pump here and shit, like one pump there or something. We only need one pump. We only need the single one. That'll be fine. Okay, okay. And then the barbarian. Sorry, I didn't see you come in, mate. How's it going? Any games you'd like to stream? Funnily enough, I've been keeping an eye out recently, Couriers. I've not really seen anything all that magical recently. I think a lot of the devs are holding off because obviously, like, Borderlands is coming out, WoW Classic's coming out. I think a lot of the devs are really holding off right now. But I generally keep my eye out. I'm terrible at remembering when things are going to come out. Literally terrible. Okay. Oh. But if you know of anything cool that's going to grab me swiftly by the balls, then kind of let me know. Eldrin Ring. It's Eldrin Ring. Eldrin Ring? Eldrin. What's Eldrin Ring? Elden Ring. Oh, is this the new, it's the new sort of Dark Soulsy thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's FromSoft. So someone's streaming Shadows of Tomb Raider. That game is absolutely gorgeous. You know what? I never got into any of the Tomb Raider games. I used to watch, there was a lady that used to come to the stream, her and her husband, called Naughty Mahina. Naughty Mahina. And she played all the Tomb Raider games. But they did look quite pretty. But those games, they're very, very linear. I don't do really well with... Go to here. Don't dare move behind that rock. You're not meant to look under that rock. You know, make sure you hit this checkpoint on the floor, otherwise you don't progress to the next objective. Like I don't do well with those sort of games. I think they're very much like that, aren't they? It's like, what were the ones back in the day? What were the ones with Thingy Drake back in the day? I forget what they were called. They were very much like that. Everybody raved about them, but I hated them because it was so linear. You know. Stand on the correct carriage of the train at the right time, otherwise you don't get the cutscene and you fall off the edge of the world. You know, those kind of games. Okay, there's a bit of oil coming through here now. It's going to start getting a bit wham. I should really not have the oil coming in just yet, because I should really pump the room out first. Otherwise I'm going to pump out a load of 60-degree carbon dioxide, which will suck, because it'll stifle all of my oxyferns. Elden Ring is going open world? Really? Huh. I wouldn't have thought that. Why are these not being built? Are these bugged? They look kind of bugged. Let's try that again. You. They look a little bit bugged. Let's try and get these built. Don't know why they're not being built. What are you building right now? Total noob at the game, by the way. Nimble Pimp. This is going to be an oil refinery room with a little petrol generator. That's going to give me... turn oil, crude oil, into petroleum. And then the petroleum's going to... some of it's going to go into my generator, and the rest is going to go into my base. This thing down here is something a little bit different. This is me trying to make some wild tiles in the games. Notice you got oxyferns growing naturally. How did you place them? This is literally what I'm doing now, Shoppy. Pay attention. We're going to make some natural tiles literally right now. So I just need to do a few bits first. I might put a second pump in it just to speed up the clear out. Put a pump there. Yeah, natural tiles. So if you look at these oxyferns here, we've got them placed on dirt. We've made this dirt legitimately. It's not been done with debug. We've made it in the game. Same over here. Same with some of these trees. Some of these were tiles that we left in, like this rust. But anywhere where you see dirt with a little bit of a buried object in it, we've made those. We've planted these trees ourselves. Same as in the base. These are trees that we planted in the middle of the base. So we made these dirt tiles. These ones are just, you know, we're just putting these in hydroponic tiles, but these are actually wild. And that's what we're doing. We basically dropped some fertilizer into a little pocket of petroleum that we've dropped in there. And then we're going to cook it. That is essentially what we're going to do. They've built these now. Good. Right. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. So, the idea is that we'll send the petroleum down this pipe into this reservoir. It'll cook all the tiles. And then we'll send it back. That's the plan. It may not be the greatest plan, but it is my plan. I'm tempted to turn this on before I pump the room out as well. Just so I can get it done now. I think that might be the way. So we'll seal up this room here. And then the tubes can only go through here to get to this room. So they'll go through the nature reserve as well, which is good. Can oxygen tiles spawn? Oxygen tiles is in oxylite, or... What do you mean, sorry? This might take a little while to get done. Oxylite tiles. Don't think you can spawn oxylite tiles. Don't think that is possible. Unfortunately. Oh, I should have let him build this pipe first. Hold on. Yeah, let's do that. Hold on. Let's just make these like priority 5. Because then they can diagonally build nearly all this pipe. So this can be priority 9. It'll save me putting loads of ladders and stuff in here later on. You can make oxylite, yeah, of course you can, but you can't make solid tiles. But you can make oxylite. There's a couple of different ways of doing it. You can do it with dense puff, so there is actually a building that lets you just make oxylite out of gold and oxygen. Which is kind of handy. So yeah, basically what I've got in here, I've trapped some fertiliser that I've delivered with a compactor that I just ripped out. I've also got a load of clay in here that really does need to get out of the base. We'll drop him in here for now. Cultivatable soil, clay. Yeah, we need him gone. So a little bit of fertiliser, so 50 kilos. And you can see the little blob of fertiliser in all these different builds here. All these different pockets. And then behind it I've got a single piece of radiant piping. So this little bit of radiant piping. I'm going to pump petroleum through here. Although this petroleum ain't going to be hot enough. So I'm not going to use this petroleum. That was a mistake. I nearly made a big derp. I want to use the petroleum that comes down here. Oh, which is not quite hot enough anymore. Oh. It's because I've been making all the tungsten. No. Need to warm it up with something else. Oh, well, my hot petroleum has been used. I don't have any hot petroleum anymore. How can I get some hot petroleum? I didn't even think about the heat when I was doing it. I've been so used to just connecting up petroleum to this pipe. This ain't gonna work. This petroleum is too cold. I need some petroleum that is hotter. All of that petroleum has been burnt. I need some more steel being made. That's what I need. I don't think we've got any more fossil kicking around. A few bits here and there, but not very much. Oh. Stupid game lag. Use hot gas instead. You could do, it's just much quicker with the liquid. Much quicker with the liquid passing through the radiant tiles, mostly because of the mass. A liquid pipe can hold 10 kilos versus a gas pipe that only holds a single kilo. So it'd be much quicker with using petroleum in a pipe, like a radiant pipe. Let me just see if I can cherry pick a few bits of fossil down here. We do still have some kicking around, it's just I've not minded it. Yes. I'll make this nice. What time? Yeah, we're still good. We're still good for time. Wait. Just gonna do some quick digs, get a load of this fossil, make a load more lime, and then I'll try not to use it in my petroleum gens. So I will turn these off. Actually, what I'll do is we'll make sure all this gets forced now, so that when we do get some hot petroleum, it's not going to be diluted in this 120 odd stuff. And we'll change you from wolfram. We should have loads of tungsten now. 8 tons of stuff, nice. We'll turn you off and change you back to steel forever. That's fine. Okay, we've nearly managed to get all this pipe done underneath, which is good. This is nearly finished. This is currently being vacuumed out, which is fine. Oh. Radiant pipe in magma, I'm sure it will heat up the petroleum, yeah. Use the hot copper on a conveyor. Yeah, it's not going to be warm enough. It would be warm enough, but it won't interact with the petroleum in the same way. So these radiant liquid pipes have a thermal conductivity of 410. It's ridiculous. So it works really quickly. Emily, how the devil are you? How the devil goes it? Give me 1 second, guys. Just need to check something. Checking a command. What we say? Emily, that's the link you were asking for the other day, by the way. I think if you click that link, it should take you directly to the page. I hadn't forgotten, but there is the link if you click that. See if I'm getting this game, but from the gameplay, so it doesn't have a purple tint like this. Why is that? A purple tint. These are insulated tiles, if that's what you're talking about. Are you talking about like this? We've got many insulated tiles kicking around there that has the purple tint. We've got quite a large sort of base that we're trying to keep our heat in. How you doing, my favourite and least favourite streamer, Terrello, you son of a bitch. You can't give me a compliment and then, you know what I mean? You can't whip it away. Jesus. 5 tiles from the right. Oh shit, yeah. Oh, I remember why. It's because we emptied that pipe. Derp. Well spotted. I mean, it still would be fine. Polluted water would work just as well. In fact, I might just leave it. It'll make steam though quicker. No, you're right. Let's clean that out. Well spotted. Sire Nepeth. Sire Nepeh. Thank you very much for the follow. Sorry if I butchered your name. You're the only guy I watch, so but that still doesn't dissuade of whether it's, you know, it still doesn't let me know whether you're doing it for hate or for love, you know? You can't say favourite and least favourite streamer. I mean, come on. Oh, you cut me deep. You cut me real deep. I thought we had something special going on to Allo, you and me. I even found you a sweet new t-shirt to buy, remember? Why are you trying to make natural tiles? Because I want to plant a load of trees down here, Sushi Burps. That's what I want to do. Yeah, super well spotted on the old polluted water. I would definitely have forgotten about that. It probably wouldn't have made any difference, honestly. It'd have worked the same way, but it would have boiled into steam and it wouldn't have transferred as quickly, so it's good that you spotted that. Right, so we need to get this done before we come and steal the stuff. Have we started making a bit of steel yet? Looks like we have. We are not using up the petroleum. Hold on a sec. Oh, go, go, go. Right, so here comes some hotter oil now. That's what we want. That's what we want. I need to make sure this pipe's full so that this bypasses. Oh, it's not going to. Oh, there we go. Very good. Then this hot stuff comes into the tank. Much good. Very good. Okay then. So how much is in here at the minute? That'll be enough to warm it up, I think. We'll make these above a bajillion. And above a bajillion just for now. Just so they don't pump. And I may even just nip off. Let me see. This bridge, I think. Oh, Stine! Ah, oh, raid with a party of 26. Welcome, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you. Alastorn, thank you very much for the follow, buddy. Alastorn? Thank you very much. And Sugu Hua, thank you very much for the follow. My goodness, welcome everyone. How are you all doing? How is it going? So I'm just currently debating how I want to do this. Bang. Stinny, I didn't even know you streamed. What the hell? You didn't tell me. NPR, thank you very much for the follow. And Scaper, thank you very much for the follow. My goodness. Why are you trying to make natural tiles? Can't plant trees and planters or farm tiles. I can do, but if I plant them in planter tiles or farm tiles, they cost me lots of water and dirt. If I plant them wild, they don't cost me anything, which is good. Right then, so this should just go into the base now. Yeah, NPR Scaper, thank you very much for the follow as well. Stine. 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 I'm trying, alright? Hold on. We tried this yesterday, wasn't it? Didn't I say it was like the end of Christina? Stina. Stina. Am I getting there? Am I getting closer? Is all this worth it to make these natural tiles? Yes, Mr. Twitch, yeah. Because they'll give us lots and lots of materials for free. So it's good. I did not know you streamed. You should have said. I'd have popped by. But thank you very much for the raid. I've known Stina for many years and I still get it wrong. I try, alright? I'm a bumbling Englishman. My pronunciation is always weak. My pronunciation game is weak, alright? I do try though. But how are you all doing? Did you have a good stream? Were you playing some Honor yourself, or...? You're one of the better ones getting her name. Oh, NPR, thank you. I am trying, I promise. I don't know if that says more or less about me. The fact that that's me trying. Oh, Jesus. Right. I teach us a bunch of stuff and always end up saying, I took that from Lifegrow. I see. Well, that's good. Hey, it's all about sharing the love. Share the knowledge. It's all good. That's what we're about. Right. So for those of you that have just joined, I should explain. I'm currently in the process of making some more natural tiles. We've planted many tiles around the base. We've got quite a big sprawling base at the minute. So we've been planting some trees over here earlier. I'm now trying to mirror the same thing over here, but the problem is I didn't have any natural tiles to actually plant my trees on. You know, like dirt tiles, or you know, these are natural tiles that spawn with the world gen. Well, we can now plant natural crops. So I'm trying to plant some trees, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to create dirt, like solid dirt tiles, like this. and then we can plant natural trees on them, and then we don't have to feed them any water or dirt. That's what I'm trying to do. So it's a little bit fiddly, but we're just at the point now where I'm going to turn it on in a second. Inventory issues is your bane. Inventory in this game. I get that with a lot of games, don't get me wrong. But in this game? Do you mean just having a nice dumping area for all your stuff? Is that what you're saying? Right, I just need to find a little bit of petroleum. That'll be perfect. In any game, yeah. Just started playing a few days ago, so my brain can't keep up with half the stuff. Arctic Fox. Generally, mate, just keep playing. Build everything. Build everything in the game. Fail, rinse, repeat. Learn from what you went, what you did wrong. Probably do it again, but do it slightly cooler. Profit. That's how it works. That's the only way to do this game. But yeah, if every time you fail, you learn something new, you'll be flying in no time. Right, we're just waiting on this petroleum coming up here. There we go. 200 odd kilos. I only need a little blurb in here, so we'll just drop you off. And then we'll get rid of you. So what I've basically got in here, I've got some fertilizer that I've dropped in here manually. So there's like 50 kilos of fertilizer in each one of these little pockets, right? What has it got in its pockets? I also need to get rid of this clay before I forget. They don't seem to want to sweep it, which is making me a little bit sad. But yeah, a little bit of fertilizer in all of these. And then I filled it with a little bit of petroleum, just a small amount of petroleum, a couple of kilos here and there. And then I've got some radiant piping behind it. I'm going to run some hot liquid through this radiant piping and cook the fertilizer. That's what we're trying to do. Now the problem is, it's a little bit pipey around here right now. I think I popped both of those peas. It's very pipey. So, you might have to bear with me a second whilst I reappropriate something. Oosh. Just a wee bit pipey. How hot? Above 125 degrees. Oh yeah, we've got many foods. We're hungry boys. We're hungry boys because we're building big. That's how I like to think about it. I might need a little bit more of this to drain in first before I worry about this pipe, actually. So what we could do, we could just bridge from here, hop down here, reappropriate this pipe for a brief moment, hop over there, and then we're in. I think that's what we'll do. So, bear with me, guys. This might be a little bit mucky. Might be a little bit mucky, which is English slang for dirty as fuck. So stay with me. Let me see here. We'll go over that way. I'll tidy up all this crap afterwards. This is just to get these tiles done, and then we can send it home again. How do you compress your liquids? Oh, good night, Emily. Good night, Emily. Thank you for popping in. Always lovely to see you. Fertilizer plus petroleum plus heat equals dirt. Yes! Well, it doesn't have to be petroleum. It can be anything else. I use petroleum because it's quicker. It can be anything. Don't muck about. Yeah. How do you compress your liquids? If you go to my YouTube channel, there's a playlist on there. In fact, do this one instead. Oni Tips. There's a playlist called Tips and Tricks. On that playlist, there's loads and loads of different videos all about this game. One of which is about making overpressurized vents. That will help you compress your liquids. That is the one you're looking for. We basically store all of our liquids in tanks like this. So like this is my crude oil tank, and this is where we pump in our crude oil. And then we've got a hot water tank up here, and a cool water tank up here. And these have all got loads and loads of liquid in. And the reason I do this is because I want to store everything in my base. I want to collect everything from outside the map, bring it into my base, and store it where I can keep an eye on it. Plus, it looks kind of cool. So, that is the way. Right, get this finished. ST now feels like a bomb and a big bang. A bomb and a big bang? What do you mean? Oh, you're struggling with no dirt for your research. Well, this is how you can make dirt. This is how you can make it. If you basically put a big old chunk of fertilizer in a hot area, and heat it up with a liquid. Now, this is why I use the liquid. I should probably explain this in case you go off and do this in your own base. If we've got a tile, like this tile of clay here, trying to interact with this tile, it will transfer its temperature of this debris very, very, very slowly, right? But if we submerge this tile in liquid and then pass something through that liquid, it'll heat up very quickly. It'll exchange temperature very quickly. Now, the more mass that you've got, the longer it takes to heat up. But you can cook fertilizer. So, I am the captain now. Jesse, how's it going? Not be able to repurpose all the pipes you rerouted for the project after it's done. I mean, back to what they were before, not accidentally equip my base. It's no problem. We do it all the time. It's because I don't want to have to lay more and more janky pipes. We've got enough as it is, I think. So then, what's going to happen here is the hot petroleum is going to come out of here. It's going to hit this bridge. It's going to hit this bridge. It's going to come down here, and then it's going to flow through these tiles. Now, it's not going to be a massive amount, but it should be enough, I think, if it keeps going, to tide us over to get this done. And then once we're done, we can fire it back up the pipe, and that'll be fine. We're currently waiting on this room becoming a vacuum anyway, so I can't do anything else in this build until this is finished, so... Shit. They've not got rid of this clay. Why are they not getting rid of that clay? I need that for myself. Sweep only. Cultivatable soil. Clay with a 9. Give me that. It says unreachable, but they should be able to corner sweep. Let's get rid of the tile. Oh, you believe fertilizer and petroleum and heat makes a bomb? Oh, I see. That's what you were getting at. Oh, I didn't get those sinister tones, to be honest. I'm a happy-go-lucky scamp. I don't want to think about bombs. Alright, so you see we've made our first dirt tile here. I'm hoping we get that clay out of there quickly. So this fertilizer is at 113 degrees. We're going to need more petroleum before we can cook any more. But we have made our first tile. I just need to get these boys doing some stuff. I might make this one just doing some iron. Iron might be fine. Need more lime. Did we get all the fossil? I don't think we did. Oh, there's loads more fossil down here. They're just not doing it. Where's my old rock granulator? Be a 9. Get me all the fossil. Right, as long as I get this clay, I'll be happy. I don't want to lose it. It's taken me a long time to make this clay. I know it sounds silly, but without it, I'm lost. We can only hope it explodes in the middle of his base. No! Don't be like that. Don't be like that. We're all friends here. There's no need to wish base explosions upon anyone. Ever. Certainly not my base. It's never mine. Right. If I'd have had a ladder here, we probably could have corner reached it, but I've got a valve in the way, so I just thought I'd nip the tile out instead. I thought we'd have been able to sweep that cheekily, but maybe not. Alright. So once we've got that clay, we'll seal this back up. Midget, thank you very much for the follow. Midgethud? Much appreciated. How do you pack so much water into a small space? Again, the thing you're looking for is an overpressurized vent. So what you basically do, the basic principle is, depending on what liquid you're trying to store, you'll see that we've got two different versions. We've got a version like this, where we've got a floating liquid on top of the heavier liquid, which most only applies to like oil, really. Oil is like the heaviest liquid. What we basically do is put a little bit of liquid in front of the vent, and that way that we can keep putting stuff through the vent even though the tank is technically very full. Now if we cover this tank in airflow tiles, you may notice there's like a bubbling effect around the airflow tiles. Airflow tiles are hydrophobic. The liquid never actually comes into contact with them. It doesn't transfer temperature to them. It isn't touching the tiles. It's floating away from it. Because of that, we can overpressurize the tank. Now, if it's a sinking liquid, you do the exact same, but put a little bit of something heavy in front of your vent. So here it's crude oil. I've got, you know, 285 kilos of crude oil. Because that isn't a full tile, because it's not 870 kilos of crude oil, the vent doesn't think it's overpressurized, so it can keep pumping liquid in. Does that make sense? So what you basically need to do is just put a different liquid than the one you're trying to put in your tank in front of your vent. Crude oil is slightly different because it's a heavy liquid, so we put a little bit of floating petroleum over the vent. How long have you been playing? Since day one, Jay. I am one of the original old school day one players. I've been playing this game a very long time. Yeah. You can do the same with gases, yeah, but with gas it's slightly different. With gases we put a little bit of gas in front of a vent. So these are the old school vents that a lot of people use. This is my way of doing it that I prefer, which is a too high stack of liquid. So yeah, there you go. Thank you, Perpetual. Perpetual just grabbed you a link off my YouTube. That'll explain it as well. But you do it with gases in the same way. You just put a tiny bit of liquid in front of a vent, and then even though this room's got 165 kilos of carbon dioxide, the vent can still accept more. So there you go. That's how it works. Right then, you are done. I just need some more refining, and then we're on our way. How are you getting on? Are you nearly an vacuum? Just carbon dioxide now. Ah, beautiful. It's just carbon dioxide. We're down to micrograms. That's cool. Nearly there. How'd you get the petroleum on top of the oil? All you basically do is fill up the room until it's at this point, and then keep pumping in crude oil. So this was my crude oil pipe, it still is now. Once my crude oil got to this point, I just opened up this top bit and pumped in some liquid. I actually left this open from the start. As soon as it got to this point, dropped in some petroleum, sealed it up, and then we're away. So all these videos, all of this playlist, all of this playthrough is on YouTube, okay? So if you go to my YouTube channel, this is the current playthrough. If you look for a bearded guy holding a pip in the air, the lovely artwork done by my lady, you'll see the series from the beginning. It's a little bit behind Twitch, obviously, but you can see how we've got from the early game to now, basically. So it's all on there for you. I whack it all in nice little playlists, so it's dead easy to find. There you go. Alright, so you can see now that we're making more of these tiles. We are losing a bit of heat because we're basically pumping hot oil through dirt, so we're going to lose a bit of heat, but we're slowly cooking this fertilizer. So the fertilizer 118, 119, 120. This one may not have enough heat to finish. Yuri! How are you, buddy? Main paradigm, one tile can be occupied by only one material only. Yeah. And the rest of the derivatives from it. Yeah. Nailu, how are you, buddy? How are you, Yuri, by the way? I've not spoken to you in a little while. And how's it going, Nailu? Are you in bed? Are you chilling? Are you winding down? How many times have you just said F it and restarted? On stream, very, very rarely, Jay. It's only when we get super lag that I normally will restart. Once the game becomes unplayable or uncomfortable to play, I'll restart. But normally we do a full playthrough. So this way you have those gas liquid storage insanely early. So this way you can have those gas and liquid storage insanely early. You feel the urge to restart again. That's up to you, Arctic. I ain't even going to make that decision for you, but they are very handy. It means you can store a lot of stuff. In and out. You landed some days ago. Where have you been? How do you win the game? What's a full playthrough? So, for a player like me, that's played the game quite a few hours, I'm currently at 3,200 hours played. Winning the game for me is coming up with cool ways of doing things a little bit different, getting all the content in the game that I want to do, doing the builds that I set out to do at the start of the stream, and normally trying to just figure stuff out along the way. When we get to a point where I've done all those things, we bin it off and we'll start something different. For a lot of people, it's just play until you die. For a lot of people, it is just starting to play through with one particular build in mind or one change to the base from the last playthrough. It's what you make of it.